Hi! I never know how to start these videos. I think maybe that will just come with time, but I was looking at how many videos I've put on this channel, and I'm at 55 videos. Obviously, not all of those are long form. Like, there's a few of the YouTube shorts that I put out, but isn't that a lot? That seems like a lot, because I could have sworn that I've done like, I don't know, 15. But to be fair, I mean, I technically have been doing this for like a year and a half now. Not consistently, that's for damn sure. But welcome to the channel. My name is Chloe. I talk about all things books. I'm from St. Louis. I feel like I don't see a whole lot of booktubers out there that are like not from the coast or from Texas specifically for some reason. So yeah, I'm from Missouri. Hello to all my Midwesterners. You know how it is. I read a lot of fantasy, a lot of romance, a lot of different types of fantasy and romance. Some thrillers sprinkled in there, not so heavy on the thrillers just because, I don't know, I feel like I haven't found like some great thriller authors yet. I don't know, maybe that's part of our journey for 2025. But today we're going over the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. If you go back and look at my other videos, I believe I went over my 24 books that I wanted to read in 2024. That might have been whenever I created like my reading journal for 2024. I definitely did not get to very many of those. Matter of fact, where is that? This was my 2024 reading journal. I still need to make my 2025 one, and we're already almost into March. So I need to do that. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. Well, so I already know that at least one of them is transferring to 2025 because I didn't get to it. Wow, I even have nonfiction on here. There's no nonfiction on my 2025 books that I want to read. That doesn't mean I'm not going to get to any, but I mean, my 24 books for 2024 were Mistborn, The Psychology of Money, The Cheat Sheet, The Naturals, Good Girl, Bad Blood by Hallie Jackson, Savage Bonds, Everyone Here is Lying, Happy Place, the Mindfuck series. Oh, I forgot about that series. The House in the Pines, Hidden Potential, another nonfiction, Throne of the Fallen, Daisy Jones and the Six, The Love Hypothesis, Zodiac Academy, The Wicked King. I'm not reading that one. Romantic comedy, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. That's part of that series that I can't remember right now. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I did start listening to that. Did not finish it. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, again, nonfiction. The Four Agreements, again. Divine Rivals, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and Crescent City 3. I did get to, quite a few of these. Just definitely not all of them. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the 25. So, these are the only ones that I have, like, physically on this TBR. So, that's 5 out of 25. The rest, it's probably going to be a mix. I don't know that I'm definitely not going to go out and get all of these in print for this. That just seems very expensive. And we're rocking on a budget here. The first one is Accomplice to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. Maehrer? I don't know how to say her last name. I just realized that she's on TikTok. I'm sure a lot of these authors are, but it takes me a while to like find them or like stumble on their content. And she is very funny. On TikTok. She makes videos like in character of the main female character in that series, and it's just very entertaining. This is the third book in the series, and you bet your ass I will be lined up at the gate. I will be ready to go as soon as that thing comes out. That one is one that I will be getting in print for sure. The other ones, we'll just see. The next one, Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is I believe it's the When in Rome series. This is the third one again. I actually already read this year. And it was a 5-star. It was a 5-star. So I feel like that's a really good sign for the rest of these. So I'm not going to explain books if they are within a series because I don't want to, like, whenever you're so deep into a series, like even saying someone's name could throw you off. That's not going to be the case for like Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams because it's romance. Like, you know the names of the characters that are going to be in there. But as far as fantasy, I'm not even going to do it. Moving on, The Situationship by Abby Jimenez. This is her next book that's releasing this year. Not all of these are going to be releases this year, I promise. These are just like at the top of my head that I wrote down. I have no idea what this one is about, but if it's by Abby Jimenez, you know it's going to be good. So I'm hoping it's on Kindle Unlimited because I think that's how I've read all of her other ones. I think I only have one of hers actually like physically, and I think one of my friends is borrowing it right now. but I'm very excited about that one. The next one is Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. I read Throne of the Fallen last year and I really enjoyed it. It's like a spin-off sort of series on the other, is it Kings of Hell or is it Princes of Hell? I think it's Princes of Hell. But you have the first trilogy, the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy, and then and that's about one prince. And that was really good. I really enjoyed that series. And then these other two books, The Throne of the Fallen, which I've read, and Throne of Secrets, are both about different princes from that series. Anyway, I really enjoyed Throne of the Fallen, and I feel like I'm really gonna like this one as well. And I think this one came out last year, I think. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up. I think it's about the Prince of Greed. I could be wrong. I really could, but I'm not gonna look it up. If there's one thing that I like doing, it's going into a book completely blind. For some of these, I will look them up just to say like kind of what it's about. But if I just have like a general direction of what it's gonna be about, I'm good. I'm good. I like finding out about things in the book. I don't even look at summaries usually on the back of books. The next one is Gild by Raven Kennedy. This is a whole kind of large series. I don't even know how many books are in there, at least 5, but I think there's more. I have 3. I have this one and I have the next 2 because I convinced myself that I was gonna really like them, and I found the other 2 on sale. Here we are. I just know it's something about like the story of King Midas, like whenever he touches things they turn to gold. It has something to do with that, and I think the main female character, something happens with her with that. I don't know. I don't want to know. My sister is the one that I think she's read all of them so far, and she has really enjoyed it. So she's kind of been pressuring me to finally pick them up because I've had these books for definitely over a year and a half now. So yeah, I would like to tackle that this year. The next book is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn? Why is that hard for me to say? Tracy Deonn. This book has sounded so interesting. It's a YA fantasy book. Oh wow, it has really high ratings. This video might just be like me listing these off and that's pretty much it. So sorry. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Just don't spoil anything for me, but let me know if you've read them. I think that book it's been really popular on TikTok lately and has been for a while now. So it's been a while, I think, since I've read a YA fantasy though. What was the last YA fantasy that I read? I don't know. Oh, you know what? I read Caraval, and that would be YA, wouldn't it? Yeah. So I guess maybe it hasn't been as long as I'm thinking. The next book, The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I read my first Holly Jackson book, I think in 2023, and I really enjoyed it. She's a really prominent YA thriller mystery author, and I think that could be something that maybe jogs the thriller interest for me this year. I've really like not been feeling thriller-y lately. That could just be because I think I tend to lean towards romance towards the beginning of the year anyway. But I think whenever I read Holly Jackson's like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that really kind of jogged my interest. Has it been 2 years since I read that? The next one is The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. And a lot of his books, from what I've heard a lot of people talk about, is that you kind of have to be in like a specific mood to really enjoy the book and understand like the message behind it and like actually like what you're reading. I read The Midnight Library by that author. I guess it was a couple years ago now. And it was a 5 out of 5 stars. It really, like, not to be dramatic, but it changed my life. Not to be dramatic, but I swear it had such an impact on me at the time. I think first of all, I was reading it in a very difficult time in my life. Maybe I should reread it again now. And I think that that's just really why it kind of like hit close to home. I just don't know that his writing translates well for everyone, and that's okay. I haven't read anything else of his, but when I heard about this book specifically, I thought that it would be a nice dip my toes back in the water with his writing. The next book is Daydream by Hannah Grace. It's so funny how I'm like the jump between these different genres in this list. But Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the third in the Maple Hill series by that author. It's interesting that I have a lot of like number 3 books in a series in this list. This is supposed to be one of the characters that I really enjoyed in the other 2 books as a side character. And I think, I don't know, I'm really excited to pick up this one. I did put it on a hold through Libby. I kept having to put it off because I just wasn't in the mood to read it. And now I think I ended up canceling it. So I don't know why I did that. So I'm gonna have to put the hold on it again because it's not Kindle Unlimited. I'm absolutely gonna tackle that one this year. The next book is The next book is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. This one is another that's very highly rated, and a lot of like booktubers that I feel like have similar tastes as me have really enjoyed. So I would really like to get to this one. This is another YA fantasy though, which is interesting. I think that'll be nice to like break up any of my more like high fantasy books, because I'm hoping it's not as like involved. I could be totally wrong. Maybe this is like a high fantasy for YA. We'll see. The next book is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is one I'm hoping to pick up this month. We're quickly running out of this month days, but I'm gonna try. This, as far as I know, has something to do with tarot cards, and it's a fantasy, and it's gothic. That's all I know. From there, The Women by Kristen Hanna. So I read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna last year and very much enjoyed it. I loved like the attention to detail that she was able to bring and through all the research that she did. And I think that the emotional layers but like in between that book, it was just insane. That was one that I forced my sister to read and my grandma to read, and both of them had said that they just sobbed throughout the entire book, which I agree with. It's just a very emotional book. God, it was written so well though. And I know that Kristen Hanna is, like everyone says, that she's a really great writer, and it translates to all of her books. So The Women is the next one on her list that I would like to get to. I did want to infuse my list with more fiction this year because I feel like I get in this like headspace where I'm thinking that there's only fantasy, romance, and thrillers that I would enjoy for some reason. And if there's anything that the last 2 years have taught me, it's that there are a lot of good fiction books out there. I just have to like go get them or go read them. One of them that I would like to read this year is Tell Me Everything by Elizabeth Strout. This is one that I did read the summary for. I think fiction is a little bit hard to like get interested without reading the summary. From Pulitzer Prize winning author Elizabeth Strout comes a stunner of a novel about new friendships, old loves, and the very human desire to leave a mark in the world. Also, the cover is beautiful. Okay, the next one is There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak. I'm sorry. I don't actually know how to talk. Let's look this one up because I've already forgotten. Oh yeah, okay. This one is gonna be really interesting. It has multiple POVs, like from multiple timelines. I think that the cover is really pretty as well, but this has to do with, one is 1840 London, the other is 2014 Turkey, and then the other one is 2018 London. Of Mesopotamia, erudite, but is that how you say it? Erudite? Wait, this feels like popcorn reading and I'm failing and just embarrassing the shit out of myself. There are rivers in the sky, entwines these outsiders with a single drop of water, a drop which re-manifests across the centuries. Both a source of life and harbinger of death, rivers, the Tigris and the Thames, transcend history, transcend fate. Water remembers, it is humans who forget. Doesn't that sound interesting? Tell me it doesn't. The next one is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Jeneva Rose. I think this is one of her more well-known books. And also she cracks me up on TikTok with the videos of her like running around Target and running around stores. I think she was at a Sam's Club in one of them, and she just like signs the books, and she's like always in a trench coat. It's funny. I'm not explaining this well, but her videos are funny. I have dog hair everywhere, I know. Just don't look at it if that bothers you. How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. This is one I almost picked up last year because I saw it in Barnes & Noble. I don't go to Barnes & Noble all that often, but I thought the premise of it sounded so interesting. Also, it reminds me of back in the day at my grandma's house. She has a bunch of those like choose your own adventure books, and they were so difficult to get through. Like, was there even like a way to survive through that book? I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, you get it. But those books were always so difficult, and this kind of like reminds me of that. I think it'll be really interesting to get through. This is another one I think that has two different timelines. series. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm remembering. The next book is The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. This one kind of reminded me, from what I'm remembering, it reminded me of the Inheritance games, the YA mystery books by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, just in the fact that it had to do with like an inheritance and like sort of like an adopted character. So I don't know much about this book. I just know that I believe this was her debut debut album. Her debut book. It'll be interesting. I'm just now realizing I put like actually quite a bit of like mystery thrillers on here. The next book is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Fun fact, I actually already read this. I also read Finale, which is the third book in the series. And they were good. If you want to see my review on those, go back to read my, I think like my last reading vlog is whenever I was reading this. We're up to, what number are we at? We're at 19. Number 19 is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I know that there are people who, did this come out? This definitely came out this year. There's been mixed reviews. To be fair, I know that it's going to be smut heavy just based off of the cover, and that's completely fine. I don't know. I also just really enjoy Ali Hazelwood's writing. I don't think I typically give her books like higher than a 4 out of 5 stars. It's just like a good time. So I don't think I'm going to be putting a whole lot of pressure on it, but I don't know. Maybe I will just enjoy it a lot more than other people have. We'll see. The next book is The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. This is going to be a new release this year. I don't remember when it's coming out, but it is part of Campus Diaries series. It's number 3. Does that surprise anyone at this point? I'm hoping that I like this one more than the second one in the series. I really enjoyed the first one because it made sense to me. I feel like the series was marketed as like, this will be the kids of that other series that she's got that I can't remember the name of, which got me really excited to read. So I read the first one, very much enjoyed it. The second one, I was like, wait, what does this have to do with anything? And who are these characters? And how does their relationship even make sense? Because it didn't. I'm hoping that doesn't happen for number 3. The next book is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the second book after, this is the book after Phantasma. Phantasma, I heard someone say, I was watching a YouTube video. She said that she heard it was like kind of like a Caraval vibe. And I can definitely see that now that she's saying it. But I was in love with Phantasma. I don't think that I rated it a 5 out of 5 stars, but it was definitely like a 4 or a 4.5. So I thought it was so fun. It's about a witch in New Orleans, and it's very much like about a haunted mansion that you have to survive. I don't think I'm very good at explaining that one, but I really want to read the second one. The next book is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is part of the Powerless series. I don't know if it's gonna be great. I did not like the second book all that much. I don't feel like it added anything to the plot, but I am still like kind of hooked in the fact that I want to see where it ends. It's a pretty like simple YA fantasy, so I don't think, thankfully, that I will have to reread the first 2 books in order to like understand what's going on in the third. But I don't know. And that series is also pretty controversial in the fact that it heavily leans towards copy pasting some pretty classic YA fantasy book like plots and scenes specifically. I don't know. I'm just interested to see where it goes. We'll just see how it goes. The next one is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I feel like this is the year for Brandon Sanderson. I know he was getting like much more popular last year, and his books come so highly recommended from everyone that reads them, but he's still kind of slept on right now, I think. The only book that I've read of his is Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I know that one is not really like indicative of his other books, because his other books are like kind of like interconnected series, and it's like more sci-fi and fantasy than that one. But I was pretty like blown away with the writing itself in Tress of the Emerald Sea. So I have very, very, very high hopes for this one, and I feel like it's opening Pandora's box whenever I get into this, and maybe that's why I like keep pushing it off, but I am very excited to get to it. The next one is Malice by John Gwynne. This is another one I think that I'm really gonna like. I think it's more of a high fantasy, which is more of the reason why I've been putting it off, because I know it's gonna take some hefty brain power. These books are also like pretty thick, so that could take me a bit to get through, and I just haven't been in a super like high fantasy mood. That was our number 24. So number 25, the last one that I want to get to this year, is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I know this one as well. It's kind of like Mistborn, and that's why I've been putting it off. But this one, I don't think Robin Hobb is actually, that author is not well known at all. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I swear that Robin Hobb books are not very common. I think the driving force behind these last three, Mistborn, Malice, and Assassin's Apprentice, I'm looking for a fantasy series that like ropes me in and just like drags me along throughout a very long series. And I know Malice, I think is only 4 books, but I just have that feeling. I feel like these have such high potential for me to just really like immerse myself in such a great fantasy world that I just want to get to them this year. I feel like this year is the year, you know? There's something about it. Anyway, those are all the books. That was a lot of me saying, I don't know anything about this book, but I want to read it. So thanks for coming along with me. Like I said, let me know if you've already read any of these books and what you thought down below. Don't spoil anything for me, please. Or if any of these books are on your list to get to this year, let me know. If you have not subscribed yet, please do that. And then you can get notified whenever I make more videos throughout the rest of the year about these books and me reading them, because I am going to tackle all of them if it's the last thing that I do. I feel very confident about this year's list. I think last year I was like, this is really like kind of challenging me to do. This one, I think it is still a challenge, but I think that I'm so interested in all of these books and like excited to read them that I have a much better chance of actually getting to all of them. And I mean, so I've read, how many of these have I already read this year? As of February 19th. I've already read 2 of them. We're well on our way. And that's all I've got. I will see you guys in the next one.